Hi guys, welcome back to the Women's Talk Show with Elise. It's episode 4 today and we have got the amazing Humairaa in to have a conversation. She's one of my loyal customers, so I'm really excited about this conversation. So as it is the Eating Disorder Awareness Week, the topics that we're going to be covering today is eating disorders. So just a little bit of a trigger warning, guys. If you do struggle with eating disorders and this kind of conversation might trigger you, I would maybe skip this episode. So Humairaa, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
It's cool. Are you enjoying your hot chocolate?
I am, yeah. That's the time I've got on top lip, so I will not be drinking it.
Also, we just want to say, guys, don't mind my lisp. I've got a retainer in. I'm not drunk. I've just got a little lisp. And also, Humairaa wants to say, don't mind her route. She's in on Saturday for him do.
They're going to think you've abandoned me.
Never. So, let's take you back to growing up in your childhood.
Yeah.
How was childhood growing up?
I'm going to be honest, it was pretty unremarkable. So I am of South Asian heritage. I am Pakistani. My grandparents came over here, so I'm second generation here.
Yeah.
2 sisters, grew up quite nice, in a really nice home environment. My parents divorced when I was about 14 years old. That was quite difficult.
It's a difficult age though as well.
Yeah, literally, teenage years, as a young teenager and a teenage girl, you know, your hormones are everywhere. So that was really difficult. Then my mum got with someone else, who was a different heritage, ethnicity to her, and there was a little bit of backlash from that because it was really uncommon back then, very uncommon. So I've been lucky enough to have a very kind of like, I'd class it as a westernised upbringing,
quite multicultural as well.
Literally, that's it. And my dad is really cool, liberal-minded as well. So he kind of was like, you know, you're living here, you're going to live your life here, you can enjoy it, you know, do what you guys want to do.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'd say my childhood was quite as stable as it could be.
Yeah.
I do. It was all right, actually. Just, obviously, the hardest time for me was the divorce, I think. Because then we went from having a family unit to not so much. But like I said, my stepdad came. He's still around now. I don't know how he's doing it with like raising 3 teenage girls.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, and we've built a really good relationship with him, and he has with the kids as well.
Yeah.
So we were.
And your mum's happy.
Yeah,
as well,
and that's it.
And
yeah. And she really broke a boundary there.
Yeah.
Like she really stepped into her own.
But I think it's allowed then for her children to be who they
and that's
are destined to be, I suppose. Yeah. You know, we know restrictions and things like that. So I think it's really positive. It's a positive ending.
Yeah.
To something that you know that initially you went through, and like you say, with backlash and things like that, it's quite tough.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but we've learnt now to be unapologetically us.
Absolutely. And the thing is, we're here living for ourselves, not for everybody else.
That's it. Yeah.
And you know, you've got your own children, and you know, you've got to feed into them that we're here for ourselves. We're not here to be pleasing other people. So so it's Eating Disorder Awareness Week this week, and this is a topic that we're going to talk about. And it's a topic that you've struggled with for quite a long time.
Yeah, I have.
So do you want to start with how you found that come about, kind of when it come about?
I can't. I'm going to be honest. Whether or not I've blocked it out, I cannot pinpoint it to one trigger.
Really?
Yeah. Or maybe I'm just not ready to speak about it. I couldn't tell you. I really cannot. It's like I've completely blacked out. What I do know, though, is I started off, and I was a healthy weight. You know, really healthy weight. I started off kind of like maybe missing a meal here and there. And it were all based, what I know now is all based on how I felt. So if I felt a certain way, the eating disorder helped me numb that so I could control it. So when everything else spirals out of control, I could control that. And then after a while, I started getting symptoms like dizziness, fatigue, blackouts.
Yeah.
So I went to the GP. I knew something was wasn't right, but I couldn't say
so
what
you
it
didn't
was.
actually think at all there were anything to do with you not eating properly then? You just thought, God, why am I feeling so dizzy?
No, and every day that went by, my need to restrict got stronger. So then slowly, where I thought I was in control, I actually started losing control.
Yeah, takes over you kind of thing.
So it was like a storm brewing, and then I was hit by lightning, and I didn't see it coming, if that makes sense.
So just to kind of talk a little bit more about some of like the ways, you know, and the things that you did. So when it comes to eating, would you just kind of not fancy anything to eat and you just chose not to eat?
Yeah, so what I'd do is I would basically numb out the hunger. So I would let myself get way past hunger to the point where even years, I think it was a good 6-7 years after, that I actually felt the need for hunger. I stopped feeling the physiological need for hunger. When I was in recovery actively, I was eating because I knew I had to, not because I want to.
Right.
So, yeah.
And do you find that because you was eating because you have to, do you still feel like that you could have gone back to them old ways then?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
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 The recovery is a lot more harder. It's a lot more painful than actually not eating. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's dangerous. Refeeding is dangerous.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you have to kind of be under medical supervision then when you're trying to get back better.
And I was lucky. So when I'd finally got my diagnosis, I mean, the GP asked me 3 questions and then told me I was depressed and sent me away. And it wasn't until I went with this big, long letter because I knew something wasn't right.
Yeah.
And my mum went with me, and then they were like, all right, okay, so we think it's an eating disorder. So what had happened is they'd referred me to the Leeds Eating Disorder Unit over at Seacroft. But they also had the mental health unit with someone who specialised in eating disorders as a community. So I'd got a double referral. But the only thing that happened is I actually got pregnant and I was going away with my friends to Turkey.
All right.
Now I weighed 4.5 stone.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'd gone over to Turkey and I'd started bleeding. And then obviously I had to have a scan over there because I was bleeding, I was pregnant, and they were like, there's no heartbeat here. Yeah.
Oh God.
So I wouldn't let them touch me over there. I wanted to come. We were only 2 days away from being at home. Come back and they said, you've had a miscarriage. And then I had finally so I went through that. And then that was in the August. And in September, I had my first meeting with the eating disorder consultant over at Leeds. And he talked me through everything. And then he were like, well, I hope you bought a bag packed. And I said, oh, what do you mean? It's like, because you're staying. I said, I'm not. And he was like, I will detain you under the Mental Health Act if I have to. Because he still thought I was pregnant.
Ah, okay, right.
So he then said he couldn't understand how I got pregnant at low weight, first and foremost.
Yeah.
And secondly, he considered me a danger, not just to myself, but to that child as well.
Bloody hell. And that's, looking back, I bet that's quite, makes you feel quite...
Oh, shameful, guilt, all sorts.
And again, it goes back to the eating disorder took over you. You weren't in control anymore, you know?
Yeah.
But how does it feel, like, looking back at all that?
I do feel a lot of guilt. A lot of guilt and a lot of shame in it all.
Really?
Yeah, because... So for the purpose of the podcast, I don't like giving it power where it doesn't need power, but I'll refer to the eating disorder as a separate entity to what I am because it's that manipulative.
Yeah.
When I look back at the behaviours I engaged in, how I hid it, how manipulative I was, how selfish I was, it's not me.
No,
it's not me day to day.
Yeah.
And everybody will tell you that isn't me, but the lengths I would go through to lie and...
pretend you've eaten and things and hide food maybe.
Yeah, protect the eating disorder 100% because that was my comfort blanket and I wasn't ready to let go of that comfort blanket because I didn't want to feel, I wanted to be in control. I thought I was in control, which obviously I wasn't. So yeah.
It's very interesting. I've never had a full conversation about, you know, eating disorders and anorexia, there's bulimia.
Yeah.
Been talking about the afraid maybe. And the spectrum of eating disorders is quite wide.
Yeah, it is.
And I don't think people understand them.
Yeah.
Now, I think more people than what you think will probably suffer from it. Maybe, you know, not as severe cases, but maybe milder cases. And again, it is a control thing. And I think food on the other end, where you're eating too much, that gives you a really nice feeling. And so, you know, it's quite hard to get your head around not eating and feeling good about that, if you know what I mean. So it is interesting to get into, you know, how people feel, because for you to eat, you probably felt worse. Yeah. Did it make you feel down? Yeah, because I had to eat.
Yeah, I'd feel like a failure. So the thing
failure for eating.
Literally, So the thing is, eating disorder is what they give the label of, but it's so misleading. It's not just eating disorders. There's so many other factors. We've got secondary symptoms, depression, anxiety, suicidal ideation.
So do you get that including with it, or because of it?
So you can develop subsections of it. Like anorexia has one of the highest mortality rates, and that's what I was diagnosed with. Yeah. Because it leads to fatigue. I mean, most people's heart rate, we call it bradycardia, will lower. Mine did the opposite. I was tachycardic.
Wow.
Your muscle wastes. Your muscle starts eating itself. You lose cognition, your memory, you're fuzzy. It's just so much more than just not eating. It's what comes after it, both physical and psychologically. You do develop. Yeah. And as I've come in and out of recovery, because I never say I'm recovered. Yeah. And the reason why I don't say I'm recovered is because I know very well somewhere inside me is a door that's locked at the minute, but at any point that door opens and I'm hit by that storm again. So I always say, you wake up and you could be hungry and you'll just go have breakfast. I wake up knowing that I have to eat breakfast. It's got a choice I make.
So that's still now.
Yeah, it's a choice I have to make. Yeah. So in respect of that, I do still have some little engagement behaviours, and I probably will still do. Yeah. But now I'm aware of what I'm unaware of, if that makes sense.
I think you've come a long way. Yeah. I think you really have, and I think you should definitely, you know, give yourself a lot of credit for that, because we do see sometimes online people actually don't, you know, they don't make it. Some people, they can't get through it. No. And, you know, eventually the worst case scenario does happen. Yeah. And I think you should honestly be so proud that you've got yourself to this stage. Even if you do still have them little thoughts or them little behaviours, I think it's maybe normal, because it was very normal for a long time for you to be living that way. So I do think, you know, just give yourself some credit for what you've done. You've brought your beautiful children up, you know, and you've got an amazing job. Let's talk a little bit about your job, because you're a nurse as well.
I am,
which again, going alongside being a nurse and struggling with an eating disorder, how has that been? How's it impacted?
So we spoke about it, didn't we? So you said to me that I'd be a very good mental health nurse.
Oh, definitely.
And the reason why I went to general nursing was because during my time when I've had like the situation where I nearly died from it, it was general nurses I were around, any infection, surgery, whatever. It was general nurses and like your consultants and stuff. And because they wasn't specialised, there were elements where you could tell they were a bit like, oh, do it, she's got an eating disorder. Oh, do you know what I mean? And then they gave power to the eating disorder because they stayed quiet to it.
So
as a healthcare practitioner, you absolutely become complicit to the eating disorder, because what the eating disorder will then do is notice that and be like, no one's watching me, so I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Because people are so scared to talk about it. And I get it, if you don't have the knowledge, it is a scary thing. You don't want to be the one tipping someone over.
No, and triggering even more and things like that.
That's it. So that's exactly why I want to be a general nurse, because I want you to be in that section of it first, before they even get to mental health, because
you want it to help
journey to mental health, and that's it.
And do you feel, have you come across many people?
I have, yes. So when I first qualified, I was in surgery, and we did have, obviously got to remember with surgery, you have to fast the night before.
So that can be, somebody has to,
you can't eat. So that can be really triggering as well for someone. Do you know what I mean? So I've come across people, and I've always made sure, you know, the first thing I do is, what do you like to eat? If it's on the medical history, that's what I used to do. What do you like to eat? I'm going to get a dietitian to come out and see you. Is that all right? Yeah. Speak to the consultant, you know, kind of like, what time is this person's surgery? What is it? Is it in the morning? Is it in the afternoon? You know, I had a situation where they thought I suspected appendicitis. And I kept saying to them, not eating for a few days because I'm in so much agony.
That yourself?
Yeah, I had appendicitis. I'm not eating in a few days. I'm so scared what's going to happen. afterwards, like, oh, we need to do a scan, but it's weekend, so it's going to be late. I'm like, I need a scan. Like, you need to give me a scan because I'm scared of what I'm going to do. And it were fear. It were nothing but fear.
So basically, you, after the appendicitis, you'd not eaten for a few days and you were scared of eating then?
So I was suspected with it. So they were going through the diagnostic testing. They need to do a scan. And they were like,
okay, yeah.
And then they made me wait for a scan. I had this scan. And then they said, you cannot still eat until the doctors refuse your scan because we might need to take him for surgery. Please don't ever do this if you're in this situation because you shouldn't. As a healthcare professional now, especially surgical, I didn't wait for the results. I just got myself something to eat.
Oh, really?
Because in that moment in time, the fear of my appendix possibly bursting, if it was that, in comparison to going home and not eating again, that the latter was more scary.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, no, if my appendix burst, it burst. It was like, what am I going to do to myself? And it were things like that.
Really hard, yeah.
And that's why.
Something you're facing and tackling on your day to day.
So that's why I was like, I need to be a general nurse. I need to advocate where they might not be able to advocate. And I had a really good mental health nurse, and I will shout from the rooftops that she helped me saved my life.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. When I couldn't speak and advocate for myself, she would speak for me. When I couldn't stand up, she would stand for me.
Is that how bad it got? So you couldn't stand
I
then?
was really, really physically unwell at one point, like I was. It was. So my Elise is now, he's 11 years old now. So we're talking maybe about 10 years ago, just before his first birthday. Yeah, I had a raging infection. I collapsed on the floor. They couldn't find this raging infection. We didn't know where the infection was coming from. I got rushed in HDU. I passed out. Passed out. Don't remember what happened. But in the meantime, afterwards, what had happened is my heart rate jumped to like 130. My blood pressure was in its boots. They called it peri-arrest, which is basically before arrest, cardiac arrest.
Like a heart attack.
So my electricals were going to shut down, basically, is what happened. But they managed to get like rehydrated and stuff, and they were really good. I've still got scars from, I was so dehydrated. I've still got scars
because they can't get them in.
Yeah, I've still got the scars. That's what I live with.
Yeah.
And obviously the recovery period after that, because I was so physically exhausted, I was catheterised.
Really?
And I was a young, fit, healthy woman. Yeah, I couldn't get off to go to the toilet.
Wow.
Yeah, they had to catheterise me. That is embarrassing. Even afterwards, getting into the bath, I used to have help getting into the bath.
Because you were so frail.
So frail.
Yeah.
So frail. At my worst, I was 4.5 stone. At my very worst, yeah.
What was the turning point for you? What was the turning point for you to get on the journey of actually, realising actually, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to not make it if I carry on.
That situation. So there is an old Arabic proverb that says, if you think you want to kill yourself, go throw yourself into an ocean and watch how fast you fight for your life, because you don't want to kill yourself. What you want to do is kill the part of you that's hurting. Wow. So it were almost like I had to throw myself into that to then realise I want to live.
Yeah.
And when the doctor said,
you've got a lot to live for, kind of thing.
That's
when you weigh it all up.
My son was going to turn 1 when the doctor came in and I wanted to see him. They were like, yeah, you can come and see. And he said to me, I can't promise you next time you get on my table that I can save you. But what I can tell you is this little boy doesn't deserve to grow up without a mum. And it wasn't that I didn't love Elise. I love my children at the end of the day. They've always been really well. But in that moment, that's how selfish the eating disorder was. I couldn't see past what I had to live for.
And I think that's the thing. It's not just eating disorder. It takes over. Yeah. It takes over everything. It takes over the responsibility of knowing that you've got to be around for your children. So that was your turning point when you went to hospital, and from there they provided you with like lots of care.
So it wasn't so much from the hospital. I still had my outpatient mental health nurse. And she was really good. She protected me from going to Leeds because she knew I wouldn't survive being an inpatient in Leeds, which should have happened.
Oh God, why?
Because the way it was set up there is not the normality of in a normal typical world. So there they might have, don't know how they do it now, but they might have like a snack, breakfast, pre-lunch snack, snacks, dinner, supper. That's not really feasible in everyday life, is it? So she protected me 100%, but then we had to refeed, and the refeed looked like baby jars sometimes because my stomach
because you've not eaten. Were you going days without eating anything?
Yeah, so
then?
at that moment in time, I'd gone 3 weeks without food and just lived off Red Bull and chocolate. Yeah, just like little bars of like, you know, the little celebration. Yeah, that's why I was so ill, Yeah, so at that point, if you start to refeed someone who's so malnutritioned, you can send their body into shock and send them into cardiac arrest.
Oh, God. So you suppose like when you get to that point, you feel like you're kind of in a no-win kind of situation. If you do, you're doomed. If you don't, you're doomed. So obviously there's like interventions of them introducing it slowly
for me,
So you were on baby food for a little bit.
And then we built up to like yogurts and then softer food and then, you know, and it kind of went from there, but we did it at a pace. So the good thing about my outpatient nurse is she recognised my need for control. So she let me lead in a way, but with her clinical stance on it. So we had a really good relationship to the point she was there when I graduated. Like literally.
That's really nice. Literally. It's a journey, isn't it? You know, and like you say, if you've said, you've saved my life.
Yeah, she did.
You know, it's so nice. That's lovely.
She really, really did save my life. Yeah, I wouldn't be if it weren't for her help. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I bet that's amazing for her to feel though as well. Yeah. You know, just people showing the appreciation. So it's all right, you know, saying thank you, but I think she means a lot to you.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You know?
Yeah.
Do you keep in touch with her?
Yeah. Like I said, she came to my graduation and she were in the hall with me. Like when I was going on stage, I really wanted to be there because if it wasn't for her, that wouldn't have been possible.
You wouldn't have got to that stage,
No.
So graduation, that everything. So after you've got over the worst of the eating disorder and got well, the graduations come after that.
Yeah.
So you've got through your eating disorder and then now you've become a nurse. I think it's great. Honestly, I really do. I think it's fantastic that you've been able to get to that stage because, again, the eating disorder isn't just the eating disorder, it's the mental health that comes with it and the anxiety and the depression and things like that. I think it's, really important for people who are listening that are experiencing anything like that to definitely go and get it checked out.
Oh, 100%.
Because like you said, you were going to doctors and weren't sure what it was. And, some people might not know that they've got an eating disorder. They might just think they're down in dumps and just not fancying food.
Yeah.
But it ain't always the case. And I suppose catching it earlier.
Yeah.
And again, it's not being ashamed.
Oh, yeah. There's a stigma,
I know. And I think don't be ashamed to talk about whether you're overeating, undereating, or you're being very picky.
Yeah.
There can be something that you can do about it, and there's lots of people that you can talk to, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
I think it's getting better, but I think 10 years, it's about 10 years ago.
12 years.
About 12 years. I don't think they were geared up as much as they are now.
Yeah.
Do you think? Because mental health it's very, I think it's so slowly progress with, getting the help.
Yeah.
There's just not enough, is there?
Yeah. So we're talking about it a lot more than we were probably way back. But the services are absolutely inundated.
They are.
So when Tracy moved, which is my nurse, when she moved into another area of mental health services, they didn't replace her. So it was just like, that's it.
Wow. But they're needed. Yeah. Like you said, I think with people that are physically ill and people that are mentally have got problems, it's got to be weighed up like this. But I just don't think there's as much for mental health.
Well, for eating disorder in particular, we do have a service now that runs as an outpatient between Leeds and the Bradford Leeds area called Connect. I've worked with them, and they are they're kind of like the newest service, but you still need to have a referral from the GP. Yeah. And I'm big on that. And I've said it to Connect before, self-referrals.
Yeah.
But then operational wise, I don't know how that'd work either, but it'd be quicker.
It is. I mean, because you've got to sometimes go to doctors 5 times with something before you actually get a scan or you get sent to this. I suppose it all depends on different doctors and things. Some are a little bit better than others, or they've got more resources than others. Yeah. But I do hope for the future that we do, the government do give more funding for, you know, for mental health, because I think it's definitely needed. I was thinking of doing a little bit of an evening, like a women's empowerment evening. And again, I wanted to open that up for just anybody that wants to come and talk. And I'm thinking, you know, like the contact of the place for the eating disorder, the Connect, you know, I'm going to get like some kind of little booklet made with lots of different numbers in, so that anyone that comes, they might not want to talk about, or they might be going through something and they might not dare say it. But if everyone takes this little booklet or a little leaflet with all these different contacts and numbers on, they can feel confident to get in touch with places and get help. Because I think sometimes people are just not in that headspace at all. If they're going through something so severe, even Googling a number is too much. You know, that if your head's not there, I think people just don't reach out, do they?
But I will say, though, recovery is not the end of something. It's the beginning of reclaiming everything.
Absolutely.
And that is so important. It's also...
And that's for all mental health as well, isn't it?
Literally for everybody. And like, whether you're at the beginning, the messy middle, or at the end, you have that slide. I have slipped. I've lost 2 grandparents in the space of... We're in February and I've lost them both already. Do you know what I mean? Within weeks of each other. And I'd be sat here lying if I didn't say I did not engage in behaviour that's very restrictive. Not to the extent that I did, but that's because I'm allowed to grieve. Like, people's appetite normally does go, but for me, it's literally balancing how far am I going to push it. And I've worked so hard to get to this point, but unfortunately, grief has hit me. And where I normally compartmentalise, I put stuff away in boxes, and that's how I cope. I ignore it. This time what's happened is I cannot seem to ignore it. So it's either that, or it's one part of my brain that's saying, get it out because you know where it's going to lead. Do you know what I mean? But then there's the other bit of it where it's like, is it the eating disorder pushing me as well? So it's like, it's trying to kind of be aware.
Arguing with yourself.
Literally, But then that causes anxiety.
Because it's on your mind. Once it's there, you kind of, I know what you mean. It's just so on your mind. But the amazing thing is that you're so aware of it, Humairaa. Like, you're aware of it. You're not just bowing down to it and just letting it take over. You're questioning it. And, you know, I think that's the biggest thing, is that you're not just thinking, I'm just going to skip this meal because I'm just too, you know, I'm not feeling in a great place. You're kind of thinking, well, is it my eating disorder saying this, or am I just not really feeling like a bit of a meal?
Really tricky. And with the eating disorder, what typically happens as well, maybe not for everybody, but people I've spoken to and myself, is every time you go, like, teeter back into it, it finds a new symptom because the old behaviours don't satisfy it anymore. So, like, now I have anxiety-related symptoms. And like I said, it could be one, or it could be both together. It could be me because I don't want to, and equally it could be the eating disorder. I've never had anxiety.
No, not even when you had when you were in your worst end of your eating disorder.
I don't believe so, no. But but maybe I wasn't aware. I wasn't probably aware as what I am now of it. So possibly, but now I'm anxious. Like,
you should be so proud that you've come on here to say that you're like, ooh.
yeah.
Oh, wow. So the eating disorder seems a little bit like OCD.
I've heard that before,
because I suffer with OCD. And when you said that sometimes new traits come and it comes in new forms, that's what happens with OCD. So it can randomly, you know, a new check or whatever I'm needing to do. So it seems a little bit similar in that. And again, it's all about control. OCD is all about obsessive and compulsive decisions and the control around stuff. So I bet people who have eating disorders could actually have, some people could suffer a little bit with OCD as well.
People have been linked to other mental health conditions with eating disorders.
Have they?
Yeah.
Does it normally come like that, where somebody's got maybe, like, I don't know, autism or ADHD or some kind of neurodiversion or something like that? Do you find that people normally get an eating disorder off the back of that?
So I think they've done a lot of research. So
I have to look into that.
I mean, there's a lot of things about it at the minute. Like, is it brought on by
childhood traumas
or a primary condition? Is it brought on by genetics? You know,
right.
or is it the primary symptom and everything else comes secondary? But it's really hard to kind of put a timeline on it of what comes first, sort of thing. Sometimes it's really difficult. I think it's really individualised to the person.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah. Oh God, I think that's the hardest thing. Everyone's take on what they're going through is just so different to everyone's. Whether it's eating disorders, OCD, anxiety, it's just so wide. And I bet that's why as well we struggle when it comes to like having mental health facilities. Because it's like, where do they need to go? There's that many different things.
It's not a one fit all.
It's not, it really isn't.
And it's misleading, mental health.
Yeah.
You don't know who's got it. But
I say, honestly, it really is.
I say to everybody, and like the TLC song, you know, I'm pretty.
Yeah.
My outsides are cool, but my insides are blue. And that's exactly how it was.
Yeah.
And that, you know, and a little bit now with the grief, but and that's dangerous as well, because with eating disorders in particular, it's not always the smallest person in the room. Not necessarily. And there's that stigma, I hear it all the time.
You just don't know. You just don't know until you get talking to somebody. And if somebody's brave enough to be open, you know, I think it's really brave that you've been so real and raw about this, because it's a hard subject. You know, it's your life. It's how you lived for so long. But I think once somebody gets to that stage where they're really comfortable and confident to talk about it and be really real, I think they've got past a certain point where it's fully got a hold over them. I do think that. And I think that with lots of different, you know, mental health problems. So triggers. Do you know if you've got any triggers? I know with the grief at the moment, that's going to be a huge...
Yeah, and that was identified as a trigger years ago.
Yeah.
Losing grandparents was, because it's such a big part of my life.
Yeah.
So that was a trigger,
you got any kind of day-to-day triggers? Might be a hard question because you...
Day-to-day triggers. So I can put it like this way. So at work, I have a protected meal time, and my meal time is either 1 till 1:30 or 1:30 till 2.
Right.
And it has to be that. It has to be that. It cannot deviate away from that.
Oh,
that'll
really?
Trigger me. Yeah,
really?
that will trigger me. It'll mean I won't have a lunch.
Ah, okay.
So, because I don't really have a big breakfast, and sometimes I miss breakfast because I'm not a big breakfast. I'm not
a big breakfast. You know,
so
that's
I need
quite
to
normal
be having
sometimes.
my
Like
lunch.
You know.
So that was hard because obviously I've changed roles now. It was assessment based before, so it were like I need to, you know, I've done assessment, I need to write up, I need to do this, because that's another thing I would do. I couldn't write up like the other girls and eat at the same time. I've got to be like concentrating on what I'm doing. I have to be able to just eat and that's it. Yeah. So it was hard. Now that I'm in I'm a manager now, as clinical service manager, so that's easy now because I can plan my diary around that now.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit more freedom. So in that way, yes, prior when I was doing assessments, absolutely, it would have triggered me.
So that is
not so much.
So that is a trigger because if you weren't able to eat when you, so that's you've got used to eating at a certain time. Are you like that at home as well? Do you find you like that at home, or is it just in your workplace?
At home, I can become very distracted, and I used to do that a lot. What I do is like, I know I'm hungry, but this needs doing, and this needs doing, this needs doing. So now, and I still do it to this day. Yeah. I have an alarm that goes off at a similar time to say, oh yeah, I need to go eat. More so now than I have ever before. Prior to this, maybe about 2-3 weeks ago, I'd be like, I look at it and I'm like, oh, it's 1:50, I'm going to go grab something to eat. Yeah. But more so now, and I've gone back to my safe foods now as well.
Have you?
Yeah. Yeah, because I need that right now. Yeah. Safe foods.
And what are your safe foods?
And they sound really obvious, but curry.
Oh, I love that. I love curry.
Curry, my cream eggs, my mini eggs,
got one at home waiting.
Like I've got loads, yeah. So and they're like my safe foods, and what I've been doing is I've been keeping them really accessible. So if I do try to distract myself in a room, there's at least a safe snack for me to grab hold, and then I can re-engage my brain to be like, okay, I need to eat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can comfortably, and I shouldn't say this again, but to be real and raw, I can comfortably go all day without eating, and it won't get to 8, 9 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, actually. So
you're kind of forgetting, or your mind's occupied, like you say, and it's not a priority.
Yeah, or I could still am I engaging in them behaviours? I mean, I haven't done that in like absolutely ages, but I know that I can go,
Yeah. But I just think the recognising it is, because I bet when you were going through it, like the brunt of it, I bet you weren't thinking like this, were you?
No.
So that's the difference. I think that you're on top of it and you're thinking about it, you're setting alarms and things like that.
It's exhausting.
I can imagine.
It is absolutely exhausting.
You see, I'm the other way. I panic if I can't get my food. I'm the other way. And, you know, I can really feel I need to have my dinner now. Like, I can't think, oh, I'll just have it later on.
Yeah.
So I've got a little bit of an unhealthy relationship with food, but in the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, that's probably a little form of a little bit of, you know, I don't call it a disorder, but I don't know, what would you call it?
It's disordered eating a little bit, isn't
it?
Yeah.
And I definitely did used to have that afraid. But I never knew that it was that until I've started reading up
on it.
I'm like, oh my God.
It's so complex. They're so complex of eating disorders. Massively complex. Crazy.
But it's hopefully, you know, more's going to be done for it to help people. Is there anything that you'd want to share for our listeners that'll just encourage them to maybe get help, or where to go if they need, help? If they're in this position and think, I can see this in me, I'm ready to get help. Have you just got any, little bit of advice of where to go or what to do?
So you have BEAT, which is the National Eating Disorder kind of services. They're an organisation. I believe you can get in online with them.
Yeah.
Your GP, 111, if it's obviously,
severe.
If you need kind of like out of hours help. You've got the Samaritans as well.
Yeah.
They are.
I think Samaritans cover quite a lot.
Yeah, they do.
Don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they do. But what I will say is to people who might be, like I said, if they're beginning, middle or end, or even if they've not even begun their journey, need to stop putting a full stop because your sentence hasn't ended yet.
No.
Yeah. And that is the most important thing, because it's difficult. It's so difficult, and I get it. I honestly get it, and it is. I'm not going to say it's easy, because it's not.
Yeah.
Like I've said to you, being in recovery and going through the pace of recovery was more painful and worse than actually being in the eating disorder itself.
But it's worth it.
Worth it in the end. Yeah. Like, I'm not saying that I should be looked up on, or I'm an inspiration or whatever.
You are an inspiration, Humairaa. Oh my God, you are. Please,
honestly, but if I can do it, then anybody can do it. And I've been lucky to have a really good friendship group as well, who have grown with me.
And again, I think that's important, what we haven't even touched on or spoke about. Kind of families and friends that they go through it with you.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And I think, again, like you said at the beginning, you hid it. You tried to hide it quite a lot. And do you think people knew around you?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And did they ever say?
Yeah, they pulled me up on it all the time. Like, you know, one of my good friends is one of your customers as well.
Yeah.
Like, my friends did, but they didn't understand it either.
No,
so
they just knew there was something not right.
Yeah, but they grew with me.
Yeah.
And by them growing with me, yes, I was on this journey ultimately alone physically and mentally, but emotionally, I did have growth with them.
Yeah.
And they're a massive part of my journey as well in that respect to my personal life.
I think it's important. We need a good support network if we're going through something like this. I think the support network is half the battle as well. Them understanding it and helping not to suppose, triggers and things like that, and just trying to adapt a little bit. Yeah.
Like family now. Well, we're family is what we are now,
Definitely. So what's next for Humairaa then? What's next?
I
know you've just got the new role as manager.
Yeah.
So well done for that.
Thank you.
Amazing.
What's next? I've always wanted to have some sort of platform when it comes to the eating. Like, I'm really big on advocacy. It's something I have been looking into. Like, even like we discussed it with coaching and stuff.
I think you would be amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Even when clients are in and they're always asking for advice on other, things that we talk about. I just think you're really good at that. You're good at giving advice. And I think when you've been through your own experiences, you can't be any more, than that. So I think,
I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to try to do it. Yeah, I think that's the next thing for me. I think that's where I will get a lot of satisfaction, and I'll help to heal myself as well, because I think I've still got a lot of healing to do.
Yeah.
A lot of healing still left to do.
This is why I'm doing this. This is why I'm doing my podcast, because I feel like it's a personal journey for me. I think I absolutely love to talk to people, and I feel like I know that I've had my own things that I've been through and overcome, and I'm again still on a journey now. And I just find people very interesting, and I also just wanted to spread so much awareness on everything that you amazing ladies talk to us about, because I think it's so fucking important to get it out there that you're not alone. There is help, and you need to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
And that's the hardest bit, starting.
Yeah. Because you're just in that, cycle for so long. And it's just what you're used to, isn't it?
Yeah.
Every day is just the same, and it gets stronger. It gets stronger. And it's just really hard to, get a grip of it. Yeah. So I think you've got to start somewhere, and I think there is help out there. So, and ultimately, today was just to spread some awareness, and also just to show that you can get through having an eating disorder, and you can live a good life, and you can become something amazing. Like, you've graduated, you're a nurse, you've got an amazing job, you've got a lovely family.
Thank you.
And you should be really, really proud of yourself. You should.
I just want to let everybody know your eating disorder does not define you.
No, it doesn't. So, Humairaa, thank you so much for coming on and being so real and raw.
Thank you.
You've been amazing.
Thanks.
And I think you will have been able to help so many people as well.
So.
Definitely. We just don't know who's watching and what they're going through. And I think for us to just be able to sit down and have a conversation so openly about this is just really going to help people that are just not quite there yet to reach out, but at least they can recognise some of your journey.
Hopefully, yeah.
So thank you so much,
You're welcome.
And good luck with everything for the future as well. Okay, guys, so thank you so much for watching the 4th episode of the Women's Talk Show with Elise. We'll see you again next time.